Hi, everyone, and welcome to The Returned. You're not alone on this path, and you were meant to be here. Hi, and welcome to The Return. Today, I am honored to welcome Andre, also known online as the Alchemist369, a conscious explorer, spiritual teacher, and an experienced out-of-body traveler. Andre has developed the ability to journey beyond the physical realm at will, assessing wisdom directly from source and guiding others to do the same. His work bridges metaphysics, inner mastery, and true nature of reality. Let's dive into his story and discover what's possible when we step beyond the veil. Thank you, Andre, for being here with us today.
Thank you, MJ. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Is it okay if I call you Andre, or would you like to be known as the Alchemist?
Yeah, Andre is fine. Andre is fine. Yeah.
All right. So, Andre, can you tell us who you were before you found Darius J. Wright?
Yeah. So, and it's good you say that, because Darius J. Wright, meeting him and his teachings was like a turning point for me in my life. And that's definitely why, I'm on this path, on this trajectory. But before I found him, I was an engineer. I was an aerospace project engineer, manufacturing precise measurement instruments for space programs. Customers like NASA, Lockheed Martin, Boeing, like they purchased these parts from us, and I would manage those programs. I was married, had kids, very much just living an average, pursuing the American dream, you could say. The nice house, dogs, kids, pool in the backyard, sauna in the garage, things like that. But I was always trying to push the boundaries of like my consciousness, like meditation and consciousness always interested me. And I had sleep paralysis as a kid growing up, and things like that. But at this time, I had no correlation to the two. So I was more so just, trying to see how far I could take my consciousness. So I got into meditation and manifestation. I say manifestation because that's the first thing that I experienced that really told me, okay, this is real. Our thoughts do create our reality. So I started to manifest things in my life and like really going all in, like meditating for an hour, 2 hours on a particular thing, and then see it happen in my life and unfold in my life rather quickly too. It got so strong to the point where I'd be at work thinking of something, wanting something to happen, and then minutes later it would happen. And I say, okay, this is enough proof for me. I know this is real. Let me see if I can take it to the next level. So then I got into like astral projection, like with the gateway tapes and stuff like that. Oh, yeah. And I was, so I started taking my consciousness out of my body. Oh, excuse me 1 second.
No problem.
Yeah, so I started taking my consciousness out of my body. My mind out of my body. And I got so strong to the point where, in 5 or 10 minutes, just by doing some techniques that I created myself, just by focusing on a dot in my eyes, I would be able to come out. And then it got so strong to the point where it felt like I was being sucked out. And simultaneously to this, my mom passed away. She passed away in 2023. And when she passed away, she was sending me messages, like messages from the other side. One, that she was okay. So I felt this sense of peace come over me because she was okay. And then another feeling that I got, or message, was that she was telling me I don't have to leave here to figure it out. Basically, like, I don't have to die to figure out where we were going. Because, like, she knew the path that I was on. Like, I was trying to figure out life, like creation, right? So she said that I don't have to die to figure this out. And that told me, like, okay, I'm on the right path. Like, definitely keep going with this. And at that same time, I was experiencing sleep paralysis, like, 3 to 4 times a week for months. I would wake up in sleep paralysis. But at this time, I never correlated the two. I never correlated sleep paralysis to leaving my body or having an out-of-body experience. I just knew if I could lay down and focus for 5 minutes, it would feel like I was being sucked out in a way that I had never been before. So I got scared. So I was on YouTube one day searching for answers to sleep paralysis, because at this time I was getting hip to the fact that, you know, how they hide everything from us, they hide the truth from us, and things like that. So I started getting hip to that. So I wasn't going to go to a doctor and say, hey, you know, what's this? Why am I having sleep paralysis? They weren't going to know. So I was searching online for answers, and it just so happened, that I see Darius J. Wright. I see one of his interviews. I was like on Next Level Soul podcast, and I see one of his interviews. Now, the first time I seen him, I was like, I don't know. I'm not really going to watch this guy. And then I seen a short that said sleep paralysis is the gateway. And I said, I'm watching this. So I watch him, and everything that this man said resonated to me. And I immediately after that, I start watching all of his interviews, and I'm like, yo, this is everything I've been searching for, you know, and I'm having sleep paralysis every night, and I've been trying to leave my body. I was like, this is perfect. This is like everything that I've been searching for. So I signed up for his course, and, you know, it was just amazing, man. I found no holes in his story. And like, I was trying to find holes or something that didn't line up, but there was no holes in this man's story. And what resonated with me most was he was telling us that we could do it too, you know, that like we could leave our bodies too. So I'm like, yeah, I'm for sure signing up. So I signed up, got his course, and immersed myself in everything that he taught, man. You know, everything that he taught. I developed a solid understanding of everything that he's come to uncover, and then I started leaving my body myself. You know, I practiced his method, you know, every night for 3 months, you know, every night just leaving my body, because that then became the most important thing to my life. As you understand that this is a temporary human experience. So what does that mean? That means that anything that once you leave here, that's the eternal aspect of yourself, right? So I said, that's probably the most important thing that I should be doing, is leaving my body, trying to figure this out, is that's the eternal aspect of myself, and everything else that I'm focused on here is just temporary. So that's what I did. And I started leaving my body, and started trying to uncover these truths and travel the construct and the beyond the construct myself. And that's kind of where I am now.
I've seen Darius's work. I've seen, I can't remember where I seen it, but I have seen Darius's work. The construct, is that where he had like the layers of like, I don't know the exact
realms,
wording.
So there's, I think he showed this in an interview once, where there's a construct. Within the construct, there's 12 realms, and in each realm there's dimensional spaces. Yeah, that's like the overall view of it, but it's even like that's like the condensed version, right? It's
there's some more vast than that.
Yeah, you know, that's a great explanation. That's the overall, you know, theme, but even within that, it's still big for sure.
Did you ever fear when you were leaving in the beginning? Was there any fear that you held? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I really wanted to take that course. Yeah. But fear.
If you want to release your fear,
me. Yep.
If you want to get over your fears, sign up for his course. Understand his principles, and you will have no fear. At least that's what it did for me and countless others, honestly. But yeah, I had tons of fear, man. You know, like I said, as I was leaving, as I learned how to astral project And I even learned how to take it a step further than that, where I felt like I was leaving my body, having a full-blown OBE. And that scared me because it was the way I was doing it, it was happening so drastic. It was happening so quick and so drastic. It felt like I was being sucked out, and I had no idea where I was going. You know, you hear all these stories about hell. You hear all these bad stories about demons. I didn't want to see none of that, right? So I was very scared. Yeah, I was very scared.
So how did it turn out for you? Like, how did you go out the first time?
Oh, yeah. So, you know, I'd like to say that I'd never had an out-of-body until, like, a full-blown out-of-body until I met him. But I was out seeing things before that. And, you know, like, I ran into a lot of different things. But my first full-blown out-of-body, it was very peaceful. Like, it was, I mean, you do feel the sensation of death. Like, you feel like you're dying as you're leaving and stuff like that. But once you're out, everything was fine because I understood what it was, you know. When these things happen to you.
That feeling of leaving, you said you do feel the sensation of death. What does that feel like?
Yeah, so when I say you feel the sensation of death, it is because you feel many types of ways. If you do it consciously, you know, when sleep paralysis hits you, you can't move, and then you start to feel your soul levitate and stuff, like, that's death.
Right, okay.
You know?
Okay.
That feels just like that. And when sleep paralysis hits you, it hits you like a ton of bricks. So, and then you're going beyond that, you know, and you're taking your soul out. It feels like death. It definitely does. But just beyond that, you know, is the other side, you know, and to get there, you have to go through that. It's just one of the things you have to do in order for your soul to fit 100% be fully there and conscious. You have to go through that process. Your body has to be naturally shut down, and the only ways that your body shut down to that extent is death or sleep paralysis.
Okay.
So yeah, that's just one of the things that you have to do. But once I'm out, it was very peaceful. The first time I was out, I don't really remember the exact first time. It's like I was having a whole bunch of small experiences really quick at the beginning. Like, I'd be floating above my body, I'd turn around, see my body, and be right back in. That happened a bunch of times. I'd be out of my body, I'd be on the other side of my bed, I'd turn, I'd see me and my wife at the time sleeping, and then I'd be right back in my body. I'd leave. I seen a hooded being came to me in the beginning, which, you know, I later understood that to be a seraphim because, one, Darius told me, and two, I've seen them after that. So, my mom came to me early in the beginning.
Well, I'm sorry, what was that hooded being called?
A seraphim. That's what we call them. That's the closest name that we have, and that's I actually like. When they come to you, you know, hooded like that, but in their realm, they actually look like the biblical description of a seraphim. Like, that's what they look like. So yeah.
So that came to visit you, and then your mother came.
Yeah. Yeah, wow. And then my mom came. Yeah, she came. And the first time my mom came, this was still in the beginning. That was even kind of scary for me. You know, that was like the first time a being touched me and like was talking to me. So like that scared the hell out of me, you know, because before that I was kind of just like leaving, trying to see my body. I didn't really see nothing around me or nothing. And then the first time she came, it scared me. But I didn't even see her the first time. She just like sat on the bed behind me and touched the back of my neck. And I heard her voice say, "Hi, my baby." And that creeped. Yeah, that creeped the hell out of me. So I instantly was right back in my body.
Well, you were startled.
But yeah. And then, you know, I had conversations with her, you know, in body. I was like, all right, next time, don't do that, you know. See me in my face first. I was like, I can handle that.
I did that to my dad when I first seen him. Yeah, I like asked, like, don't ever do that again. Just like pop out of nowhere. Like, nobody's ready to see something like that. You know?
No. you
And
know?
I seen him. Like he was like literally standing there. So yeah,
Yeah.
let us know,
Yeah. Yeah,
first.
it's the same as like say you're just waking up and say it could be even your grandma waking you up from sleep. Like if somebody wakes you up suddenly, you're going to be like, you know, like what the hell?
Yeah.
Especially, when you're leaving your body, you've never came in contact with nobody. It's a surreal feeling for sure. Um but yeah, so I contacted her or spoke to her in my body and I was like, listen, I got in a deep meditative state. I was like, listen, you can come to me. Like, I want you to. But don't come from behind. If you come, come so I can see you, Like, you know? So she did. And souls on the other side, like, I've came to understand that they do that because it's just fun for them. Like, you lose like you forget how scary it is from being a human to going there because that's just where you are, right? So they're just like, oh, you're here, hey, but yeah, for sure. So yeah, she came to me, and then the next time she came to me, it was much more pleasant. I was able to give her a hug and to talk to her and see how she was doing, and she took me to some places, and yeah, it was a great time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really? So this is all when you're out of your body, you can connect with your loved ones on the other side.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Nobody's ever gone. Nobody is ever gone. And
Yeah.
they're all still there, for sure. And chances are
What do
they're
they
there
look
waiting
like?
for you.
What do they look like?
Yeah. So my mom looked. So she looked like she was younger, like
Mm.
like age 30. Like the heavenly template. She looked like that. She looked younger. She looked healthy, vibrant, fun, exciting. I've seen her other times too where she didn't look like that, where she looked like how I remembered her. But
Hmm.
the first couple times, that's like what she looked like. Yeah.
Interesting. And where is the place that she's located? What does that look like?
Yeah. So I don't necessarily know where she is all the time, but she did
Hmm.
take me to like realm 5, heaven, and it looks like exactly like what you would think heaven would look like. Like
Mm.
exactly. She took me there. And that first time I went there, it was like a big experience for me. Like I just remember like feeling so ecstatic. One, because I'm walking with my mom, right? Like that's just crazy in its own sense, right? And two, it's like as soon as you leave realm 1 Earth and you get out of this electromagnetic field that like keeps our frequency in and our memories out, once you leave that, like the feeling just becomes so overwhelming. This is where like a lot of near death experiencers, when they say it was felt just so amazing, so
Hmm.
unconditional love, so everything. So it was like that feeling, but I'm physically walking and like I'm just experiencing. So like I'm talking to people with this feeling going on inside of me. So like I was just ecstatic, man, just ecstatic. So I didn't really get too much from that first experience, but the important thing that I got was, one, I connected with my mom. I knew she was okay. She's always trying to introduce me to some people. She's always like, "Oh, this is my son." She's still like
She's
always
still the
trying to
same?
introduce me to some people. Yeah, yeah. Like, oh, I got to introduce you to my son, guys. um,
Oh my
yeah.
goodness.
But what that did for me was it allowed me to match that. So I had that frequency of that place. So now when I leave my body, I didn't need anybody else to take me there. Now I can go there because like I know what it feels like. Like I have that blueprint. So, now as I left my body, I've been there. I went back there another time after that. And, that's when I was walking around. I was a little bit more used to it and just trying to see like what was going on. And, I seen people having feasts and they were drinking something. I don't necessarily know what they were drinking, but, I seen stuff like that.
So what does it, when you were walking around and you seen people drinking, what do they look like? Like, is this like does it look like us, or is this a light body?
No, yeah. So they were definitely physical. It looks just like me and you.
Hmm.
So like when I see my mom, she looks just like a physical person. Yeah, especially everybody that I see on the other side, they're all physical. The idea that these beings are light bodies and stuff, that comes from seeing them when you're outside of that frequency, when you're still like in person in body, when you don't have access to the full light spectrum. You may see
Okay.
beings appear as etheric or something. And I know this because when I'm leaving my body, sometimes if I'm moving my hand, it may appear see-through. And after countless times, I came to the realization, oh, it's because I'm still on the other side of the veil and I don't have full access to the light spectrum yet. But as soon as you cross over to the other side, like fully step into your soul 100%, everything's physical and you can see everything for its true nature. You can see everything the way it's intended to be seen, and it's more vibrant, more beautiful than here, and everything is physical for sure.
And when you go out of your body, when we speak of the construct, is that what you see when you're outside of your body?
Yeah, so outside of my body, like I said, I mean the construct is big. So like I would even have no idea where I am if it
Oh,
wasn't
I see.
for, the knowledge that Darius was sharing. It's like I'd have no idea. Sometimes beings will tell me like this is where I am. Like if I ask them, they'll tell me where I am. And depending on how the next question I ask, I may get more context or something, but a lot of times they'll tell you and you'll just be like, oh, okay, I know. And then you come back and you really don't know. But but it depends. But yeah, for sure, it is massive. It is massive. But yeah, I'm definitely inside the construct the majority of time, inside this universe traveling. I have been outside of it. That was in the beginning. That's like one of the first things I wanted to do was get outside the construct. As soon as I gained the ability to travel and stay out longer, because like I said in the beginning, I would leave my body and I would come back real quick. It'd be real short-lived experiences. But as soon as I had the ability to go out farther and travel, and I learned how I can stay out longer, one of the first things I wanted to do was go out and see the construct, right? So that's what I did. And yeah, when you get out, it's massive. A lot of times you won't even know exactly like what you're looking at. But, again, when you learn from Darius, you'll know and you'll be like, oh, yeah, this is that. This is that. And a lot of your memories start to come back instantly, for sure.
How
So,
long have you been going outside your body for?
um, I started in like December 2023,
Oh,
around
wow.
there.
Okay.
And before that, I was like astral projecting and stuff like that for like a year or two.
Wow. So only 2 years and you've gotten that far.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, so it's understanding these principles, one, that you are your ultimate authority. Nobody can control you, right? Two,
Okay.
you are the creator of your reality. So what does that tell you? That tells you that anything that you want, you can do. And this holds true here in the physical, and it holds more true on the other side. So once I'm out, I'm just trying to push everything to the limit. And once somebody's telling you all these things exist, so I don't have to discover it myself, right? I just got to go see it. So it's a lot easier. And you can just push things to the limit. I've done things like I just sat and I was like, I want to go here. How can I go here? And I would just set my intention and focus and then go
Okay.
through my mirror. And then on the other side, it would be there. I've it comes with time and just practicing things and I just try stuff like I've manifested a rope to help pull myself out of my body. I've even manifested a dimensional space being to pull me out of my body. And when I asked him, I was like,
Wow.
who are you? He told me some crazy name And I looked at him again. I said, nah, tell me who you really are. Like, you just know that they're lying, right? So I was like, nah, tell me who you really are. And he looked me dead in my eyes and goes, I am a figment of your subconscious. I am somebody that you created to help you. So I'm like, oh, okay. So I knew I created him when I said somebody's helping me leave my body. So if you just play around with stuff, you can do pretty much just about anything. Like literally you can do just about anything.
That blows my mind. It really does. I'm curious to know, like, what do you think the biggest misconception that people have about out of body traveling?
So there's levels to this too, because there's people that, may not be into this realm. There's people that may not understand it, and then when you see out of body experiences, you think it's just like a dream, like, oh, they can go and dream or something. There's that misconception where they're like, they don't really understand what it is. And then there's people that like had a near death experience and they understand when you say an OBE is a controlled near death experience, then it triggers something and they're like, oh wow, so now they know, right? But a common misconception, probably the biggest, is that it's not real, or it's subjective, or it's perceptional, which is not true at all. We have done experiments where we write things on a board and confirm it out of our body. We have there's a base reality, and once you understand things, you can even understand where people get things when they say it's all based off perception. You can even, once you get to a certain state and you get out and you see things for what it is, you understand, oh, that's why they think it's perception based, because they're in their dimensional space. They haven't even reached base reality yet, or they haven't. That's kind of like why every near-death experience is different, because like as soon as you leave, you're going to experience your own thought forms, basically based off your vibration, you could say, based off your individual frequency, you could say. That's what you're going to experience immediately. And that's just like a dimensional space. It's not real. It's curated by our thought forms, it's curated by your thought form. So you may see something that's subjective and personal to you, but it's not the base reality, because there is a base reality there too.
So it's that's very interesting. So I'm curious to know where religion fits into this, just in this way. So I'm not religious, but some of these people that do have near-death experiences, they experience like kind of a religious or a hell, or and a bad thing, like just a really not good, or they have a very good. But religion plays a role in each part, and I always thought that maybe that would be coming maybe from our self-conscious mind. So do you think that, so if I was to do this out of body, or anybody, based on what shape our subconscious mind is in, could that shape what we might be able to see outside of our body? Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that's why I say it's important when you're doing these things. That's why, like, I tell everybody, like, if you want to do this, go to Darius, because you will get the whole picture and you can do this and understand it, right? But yeah, essentially that's essentially what's happening, right? As soon as you leave, because your thought forms go with you when you leave your body. Your thought forms they stay the same. So what does that mean? That means that is an ultimate truth, right? There's fundamental truths of all things, right? One of these fundamental truths is when you leave here, who you are does not change. That's an undeniable truth, right? So what does that mean? That means if you believe in hell, and you, deep down in your subconscious, you're like, when it's judgment time and you're like, damn, did I really do everything right? And deep down inside, you may think about that one time you did something and you're like, damn, maybe I'm not worthy, right? And then you create your hell, but that's just created based off of your own belief, right?
That's
and
what I thought.
Another fundamental truth is these dimensional spaces, even when somebody sees a scary being or something, it might not be hell, but they might just see a scary being or something. The moment you decide to laugh, or the moment you decide to reach out, or the moment you've had enough and you're just like, I've had enough, I'm not afraid anymore. The moment that happens, poof, it's gone. The being will disappear, or your hell will no longer be hell, and then you see the light. Or the moment that you've had enough, it ceases to exist.
What is the most not scary? So what have you seen outside of when you were traveling? What have you seen while you were traveling, as in beings?
Yeah, I've seen quite a few beings. So I've seen I was actually just talking about this the other day because like I see beings and like I don't remember them or like write them down too much. But I've seen some ETs. I've seen the blue ones. I think we call them the Arcturians.
Yep.
I've seen a purple one that looked like I seen a purple one and looked. I don't know. The face was weird. It had like big eyebrows. It was a different facial structure than like a human for sure, and she was purple. I've seen ones that look like humans, but I know they're from another place because I was like, how do I really know that you're from another place? Like I asked them this, and they're like, because we can do this, and then they transfer like some crazy energy through me, and I feel cold and hot at the same time. It was bizarre, but I'm like, okay, I believe you now. I've seen what people call the seraphims. I've seen bigger type of humans from realm 3, what people would consider like the Anunnaki. I've seen them. I've seen some beings that like I don't even know like what they are. I've seen a dragon. I've seen a fairy. I've seen a little leprechaun type person, but it wasn't like it's not leprechauns are probably the ones that don't look exactly like they say in the fairy tales. It's a little different, but I've seen those. I've seen I've seen some stuff, and it's I've seen enough to know that like every mythical creature that they talk about like is real. Like I just accept that now.
Is I'm wondering, like I've listened to Darius and now I'm listening to you, and I know that they hide a lot of stuff from us, and I am wondering what your thoughts on why do they hide all of this? And I don't know who they are, but I think you know what I'm getting at. But if this is all what we can do, anybody can do it. Why has this been hidden from us for so long?
Okay.
Do you think, or it's just an opinion?
Essentially, it's because of control, because of money, right? That's money is the biggest. When I say money is the root of all evil, like where do you think that comes from? Because that gives you the illusion of control, the illusion of separation even further, right? And this is really like the only place where like money exists, and people get addicted to that illusion of control because on the other side, outside of here, that concept doesn't really exist. So souls come here and they get addicted to that illusion of control, right? And the number one way to entrap a soul is to make it believe something. When I just told you that I can do anything outside of my body just by the power of my mind, and I can still do that in here through manifestation and things just take a little time because we live through time, but the power of the mind is so powerful. So when you can control somebody's mind, you then control their reality. And if I just told you that when you die and get out of here, if you believe in hell, that's what you're going to experience. The belief systems is everything, right? So why do they hide stuff from us? They hide everything from us so they can control us, so we can stay in this monetary system, so we don't wake up, so they can keep going here. And you got to understand that a lot of the people in control, they have been here. They have always been here. Like they don't leave.
I know. Definitely know.
Yeah, like they
I
don't
think
leave.
that they
So
don't realize how powerful. I think they're scared that if we are all to get to a place where we know who we really are, they're not going to stand much of a chance. So I think that's why they dumb us down or you know, create so much fear. So
Yeah.
your
And once you,
vibration does stay low.
yeah, oh yeah. And once you,
Mm-hmm.
the highest vibration is truly unconditional love, authenticity, and integrity. It's like a combination of those three things,
Mm-hmm.
because unconditional love requires you to also be what? Authentic. Meaning, yes, you have unconditional love for somebody, but you also have to still be true to yourself and be real and honest. And what's integrity? Integrity means that you honest and just
Mm-hmm.
integrity means you do things out of the goodness of your heart with pure intentions, right? You know, those three all go hand in hand. That's the highest form of vibration or frequency, truly. Um,
Do you feel that humanity is waking up?
yeah, for sure. I definitely feel that. I mean, the proof is in the pudding. Um, and where I was going with that is once you overcome your fear and you have no fear and you understand these concepts that the other side is real and that you exist outside of here, you then become an uncontrollable soul. You then can't nobody control you because
That's
you
right.
know the truth, right? You know the truth. That's why they hide it from you. And once you understand these things and leaving your body and doing it in the way that I do it, the way that Darius does it, the way that we do it, that's what you understand. And you come back and you're an uncontrollable soul. And, it's different. So yeah, humanity is waking up. I'm proof of that.
Yes, you are, aren't
You're
you?
proof of
Mm-hmm.
that. You're proof
Mm-hmm.
of that. We're all proof of that. The countless testimonials on his YouTube are proof of that. The countless YouTube podcasts that are talking about the other side, all the
It's really
NDE,
amped up. Holy.
yeah.
It really has. Like I've been studying this topic for about, oh, I don't know, 20 years. Right? That shows my age, but yeah, it's there. I can't believe the amount of people that are coming forward, yourself, just about different things too, like yourself. Like what about remote viewing? All these different things. Is what you do travel around similar to remote viewing?
Um, So you can say that, but remote viewing is more so you're just taking your consciousness out. Like I can
Oh,
sit
okay.
down in a meditative state right now and just remote view and still be here and present with you.
Oh, okay.
You can do that, but out of body experiences, it's the end of the line. I mean, you're taking your soul out, the thing that gives this body life. Like you're taking this out and you're physically there on the other side, so you can see these things. So
Tell
it's a
us
next
how you
level,
do
and you
it.
can. Um, so I do it using Darius's method. That's just how I do it. I will say, sleep paralysis is the gateway, and once you get to sleep paralysis, if you relax enough, you lower the electromagnetic field around you, your soul can leave. How do you lower your electromagnetic field? You lower your heart rate. Your heart is a pump. Your heart creates a field around you. So how do you lower that field? You lower it by lowering your heart rate. So once your heart rate dips down low enough, your soul will just naturally leave.
Do you listen to any music or is this all in silence?
I do it either many different ways. Many different ways. I listen, to binaural beats sometimes.
That's what I
Similar to like
use.
the gateway tapes,
Yeah.
436 hertz in the right, 432 on the left. It creates 4 hertz and it connects your left and right hemisphere. And yeah, I do that a lot of times with noise canceling headphones, just like these. Um, you know, yeah, that helps. That helps get your brain to that state. But oftentimes, once I'm finally like getting close, I'll just take them off and just do it naturally, right? Um, with just nothing.
Can you just come out of your body and just go like to a friend's house and just
Yeah,
like
yeah,
them not see you?
that's what I was doing at first. Yeah, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's why I say it's like you can essentially be a remote viewer if you're an out of body traveler. Yeah, you can do that. That's like what I was doing at first. Like I was just around my house, seeing things, seeing like around my neighborhood. You know, I still didn't like go into nobody's house or nothing because like it's just weird.
Yeah, it's
But like I
kind of
could have,
intrusive.
you know. Yeah, you know, you can do those things. That's why I said another important thing about this is integrity, right? Because even
Yeah.
as humans, you know, we're very private and stuff. So when you're
Hmm.
doing these things, you do it with integrity, you know. Just because you can doesn't mean you should, you know.
That's right.
But yeah, you can. And and then by the time I started telling people about this, I was so far gone into it, like I didn't care about proving it to nobody. So like I, by the time I started talking to everybody about this, like I had already experienced many different lifetimes of mine. Like I had already been out, so like I wasn't really trying to. And it takes so much effort for me to leave my body. Like I'm not gonna just leave it just to go to somebody's house or
Yeah.
something like that now. Like, you know, I'm trying to get out of here, you
Yeah.
know, and stuff like that. So
I bet you can't wait.
yeah. You know, actually, wait about getting out, like crossing over.
Mm.
Yeah, you know, yeah. For a long time I did, but as you have out of bodies, you realize there's no real rush because this goes by in a blink of an eye. You know, once you're
Right.
outside of here, it really goes by in a blink of an eye, you know, and you understand that. Like when I leave, and I've actually like relived some of my other lifetimes, and all of those felt like a blink of an eye. Even this one, when you step out and you look back and you think, it's like, wow, it's a blink of an eye. And once you're outside of here, you feel like a god. Like you feel like you can do anything. So it's like, oh, I can go back and be a human, you know? And then you get here and then, you know, your stomach starts to hurt because you're hungry. You forget that you got to go to sleep and, you know, things like that happen. But,
Oh,
um,
wow.
yeah.
How has your life, or I should say, how has your daily life changed since this has been happening to you?
Yeah, so my daily life changed. Like as I was leaving my body and stuff at first, you know, I was a typical American, man. I was sitting down at a desk all day, come home, I would be at school all day. So I was very overweight, you know,
Hmm.
all of that. So I started eating less, you know, and I eat once a day. Um, you know, you come back with love and graciousness for everybody because you understand we're just here having a human experience and it's tough for everybody. So you have a lot of understanding and compassion for everybody. No matter
Hmm.
what somebody's going through, you're just like, damn, like I understand, man. And even when somebody's talking to you a certain way and if they get angry, like you're able to put yourself in their perspective and say, oh, I understand. That's why you feel like that. I would feel like that too, you know? It changes everything about you. It changes everything about you. And that's just like my daily habits that it changed. Like I eat once a day. I drink salt water all day long
Hmm.
because we're electromagnetic beings. It helps conduce
Yeah.
electricity. Um, it changes everything about you. But the number one thing that it changed about me is I have no fear about anything, about nothing. I no longer fear money. I no longer fear not having money. I don't need that safety net. I no longer fear death. I no longer fear somebody harming me. I no longer fear. I have no fear in me at all. So that's
Geez,
another
that's a
big thing.
plus.
Yeah, yeah,
What
yeah.
is one truth about reality or consciousness that you wish that everyone on Earth would know or could know?
That you are eternal and powerful beyond measure. Truly, there are no limitations to you. You are limitless. And this human vessel puts limitations upon you, but the thing that operates this vessel is limitless. You know, that's like the underlying truth.
Limitless. I would love to
Yeah,
feel limitless.
you
What does it
can.
feel like when you come back to this body once you've been out?
All right, so there's levels to this too. So like, say I leave my body, which when I say I was leaving my body like 2-3 times a week on average, I was, but like on average, it ended up being like many of those experiences were just little ones. Like maybe I'll be in my house or just, out, because I might not have the full energy to really go that far, right? So when you just having an experience around here, let's say, or anywhere on Earth, like say you go anywhere on or around Earth and you just come back, you're gonna feel like the same. You might be thrilled that oh, I got out of my body and I was just there, but that's just like a normal human emotion, right? But once you step outside of this electromagnetic field and you go through a portal that takes you somewhere and it really lifts and your frequency rises and you go to the other realms or you download some crazy information, you're going to come back feeling ecstatic. You're going to come back like you're going to feel electric. You are going to feel so electric, like you can do anything, like you can manipulate your energy. You're going to be tapped in, like you can see future events. You're going to see more of the light spectrum. I might not even be able to be this close to my laptop because it will start to burn me because the electricity between here and my laptop will be so intense. I remember feeling like I could do anything here in my physical. Like you might not need to eat as much. You might not need to sleep as much. Just because your soul's feeling your body at that point, like when you bring more of your soul's memory back, and like that's what I try to do, man. I try to get out and bring back as much as I can. You might not, like I'm just being real, like you might not need to do nothing. I was so bad to the point. I remember I had my phone in my hand one time. I'm like, yo, I know I can make this shit charge without plugging it in. But I couldn't do that, but I tried. Like you come back feeling like a god, like, and then you start remembering like, what this place is and how these bodies were before. And these memories can even come back to you when you're in your body. You can just be sitting here after an experience that I think they call them downloads. Yeah. Like people say downloads and stuff. Yeah. Well, after an out of body, these downloads are there's so much more because you're like, you were just there. So like you're still connected. So like your downloads, they're really coming and they come so strong. They come so strong to the point where like if I think of something, my body will even vibrate a certain way. So I know if I'm perceiving it correct or if I'm perceiving it incorrectly. So like your memories will start to come back. You'll understand a lot.
Yeah, I have downloads. I get downloads, not like you, but I do get them. And I know when they come in. I always feel like they come in on my right side for some reason. It seems like everything comes in on my right side, but I know them because they're quick. They're not like me thinking of it. It's just like out of the blue and it just boom comes in. And then it's almost like I hear a voice, but it's not a voice. I don't know how to really describe it, but then I'll write everything down. I think it's maybe a little bit of automatic writing at the same time. Like you get the download and then you're writing it all down.
Yeah, it's like, yeah.
I don't know how to explain
hundreds and hundreds of pages, man.
Yeah,
like,
that's what I do too.
It's crazy.
Like, I just get it and it's like, I don't know what to do. Like, what the hell? But I love it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love it too. And the number one thing that I can say from coming out of my body is trust those downloads and trust those feelings 100%. Like if you ever feel something or you think something's coming in, trust that. Like I know it's hard to say because like you might not really see it or know where it's coming from, but trust me. Trust it. For sure. Okay. It's real.
Yeah, I believe that.
And like they're coming through. Yeah.
I heard you mention somewhere that undistorted knowledge from source. I think it was it was either a TikTok reel or maybe it was a TikTok or maybe it was a reel. But do you recall undistorted knowledge from source? So my question would be, I wrote this down. I'm like, what does that feel like to receive and how do you know it's the truth?
All right. So there is such thing as perceptional information too, based off your perception. But once you I spent a long time clearing all of my belief systems and stop listening and reading things here and just keeping an open mind and knowing that like anything is possible. So like when I go to access something, I don't have preconceived notions on what I should see or what to expect. Subconsciously, maybe there's still some there, but I try to really, to the best of my ability anyways, receive and see things undistorted as much as possible. So what it feels like is it's a knowing. Like it's a knowing. And it's like you remember, it's like your memories come back. It's just like me jogging your memory like, hey, remember last Tuesday we went here and did this? And you're like, oh yeah, I remember. It's like that. It's just like that. You're like, oh yeah, I remember. At least for me, that's what it's like. Even things that I haven't seen before, when I leave, I come back and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember this exists. I remember that. I remember this. It's like that. Yeah.
What are the first steps someone would take to begin their own out-of-body exploration? Would that be to look up Darius's work, or?
Yeah, I always suggest to tell everybody to go to Darius to get the overall understanding of everything. This guy's been doing this for years. He's got the overall blueprint of everything. Right now, what I do is his stuff is really advanced. It's not for everybody. It's really advanced, and sometimes people even have a hard time achieving it. But once you understand the basis and everything, I try to help people, navigate it a little bit further or understand it the way that I was able to understand it, because I just did this not that long ago, right? I just did this, 2 years ago. And I'm like, okay, so I can understand where people were at before and like how to get to that level, so I try to bridge the gap a little bit and just try to help navigate and try to help people and explain things in a way that it makes sense to me.
How important is the inner work before you prepare to go do the OBs? I'm guessing that it's pretty intense. You should have like all your inner work done when you decide, right?
Yeah, you should. So when
that.
I say the OBE is the end of the line, it is. Like, so all that meditation and all that spiritual practice everybody's talking about doing here, you kind of should have all that shit done before you try to come here. And I say that because your inner demons, your inner thoughts, they'll present themselves to you. So like if your field is out of whack or your thought forms are crazy, you're going to leave your body and you're going to see that. Like it's going to present itself to you. Like I'll say this. So like as I was leaving before, like I met Darius, like I'd be leaving my body. Like when I was in the astral projection and like figuring it out, before I met him, I'd leave and I'd see like Michael Myers. I'd see like Freddy Krueger. I'd see like
oh my gosh,
things being done. I'd see like things being done to my wife, my kids. And I just know it was from my thought forms, my own subconscious, my own, things. So, but then as soon as, I found him and I was like, oh, there's nothing to fear. I remember the one time Mike, I popped out. I forget if it was Michael Myers or Jason or something. He opened up a door to me, and he was like, "You got to come this way." And he was like, "Yo, you got to come this way." I'm like, "No, I don't. I'm not going." I was like, "No, I'm not going there." And I just turned around, and he was gone. That's what I mean when as soon as you realize that it's your own doing, your own thoughts, it will disappear. So
it's all a figment
can you,
of your imagination that you created that there.
Yeah, 9 times out of 10, if you see something, not good, that's exactly what it is. And, and knowing this, that's why I'm out telling people this, because so when you experience it, if you just say, oh yeah, Andre said this isn't real, I don't have to do this. And then boom, as soon as you have that realization, they're going to go away. You know what I mean? It's that easy. But yeah. So doing the inner work is very important. And because you also want to stand true in your signature. When I say integrity, authenticity is the best, you want to be in a good place when you're traveling and be in these places. You want to clear your field. You want to have no to access a lot of these things, you want to have no mal intentions, and a lot of malintentions, it comes from human desires, like the need to be greedy, the need to have this for success, or all of those preconceived notions to want to be somebody or something here. Once you get over all that, you'll have no issue navigating the other side. So yeah, I'd say, inner work is it's not, it's not necessary, but it's helpful to have your thoughts in check. Otherwise, or you can just confront it. Also, the easiest way to do your inner work is to have an out of body and just confront it right then and there. But it helps. It certainly helps to do that beforehand, for sure.
I know fear is a big block for people. So I think that they wouldn't understand. I don't know. I feel that if they don't overcome the fear when exploring, that some could have a really poor experience, that they would be forced to face their fear, basically.
Yeah. So honestly, in the out-of-body community, I haven't heard anybody that's done this under Darius that has had like a real negative experience. I haven't. It's just non-existent in the way we do it, because you understand the principles. You understand the fundamental truths, that you are your ultimate authority, that there is nothing to fear, that you are the creator of your reality, right? That's what you understand before you even do this. So once you get out, I mean, even those thoughts may even come, man. Like sometimes when I'm leaving, like before I leave, sometimes those thoughts come, like the fear of the unknown will still be present even after you've done it, 20, 30, 40, 50 times. The fear of the unknown may still be present because, you haven't seen everything,
Right,
so you
right.
still don't know for sure what happens when you're coming from that human perspective. But you just got to trust and have faith and believe people like myself, people like Darius, people that have done this and are telling you, like, listen, you're okay. There's nothing to fear. And once you believe that and you just do it anyways, once you come out, you'll see, oh, there is nothing to fear. There's nothing to fear but fear itself. That's one of my favorite quotes. And people a lot of times ask me, how do you overcome your fear? I just tell them, you just do it anyways. You just got to face it. It's like going to bungee jump, but you're scared of jumping. All right, well, you're not going to overcome that fear. If you're really scared of taking that leap, you're not going to all of a sudden, the only way to overcome that fear is to jump. And then it might not be until you jump and spring back up, and then you're like, oh, that was fun. There's nothing to fear, You kind of just got to face it.
You have an interesting life. How many times a week do you come out of your body, or is this a daily thing?
Yeah, so at one point, when I was in America and I was living by myself, I was leaving pretty consistently, like on average 2 to 3 times a week. And like on a bad week, it'd be like 1 or 2. On a good week, like 3 or 4. But like I said, even then, a lot of those experiences may just be small. Maybe me just perfecting the exiting process, or me waking up in sleep paralysis, or me waking up in the vibrational phase and just figuring out how to navigate there and then coming out, or just trying to create a portal in my room or just something. But about once a week for sure, I'd be out, like traveling, getting some, like out there. For sure. And then, after I made the move, I moved like July 1st, I think. I've came out spontaneously like 3 times since then. But I shut it down and came right back. My thought forms were too crazy. Like when I was in Egypt, I thought it was a crazy environment. So now I'm just starting to get back into it. Like I practiced last night. Didn't have success, and I'm sleeping really heavy right now, so I'm not able to wake up in the states that I was in because I'm working out and stuff. So like,
well, good for you. That's good.
Yeah. So, but so it's been about 5 weeks since I've had a real big experience, but here soon, I'm really diving back into that now and taking time. So I'm consciously trying to leave my body about 2 to 3 times a week. And what that does is it reprograms my subconscious and allows me to tap back in. And, maybe, I mean, I don't know a time frame, but if I had to guess, I'd say, within the next week or 2, I'd be leaving consistently again, for sure.
And how is your family with this?
Oh,
do you teach them
or
talk to them about it?
Yeah, of course. Everybody knows, once the seen can never be unseen, the remember can never be forgotten. So, like once I remembered, like I just know this is the truth. So like I don't care what anybody says. And my family also, they're pretty spiritual. I mean, they're not to the level that I'm at. Like I tell them I'm leaving my body. They're all interested and like they want to know more, but they might not fully understand it all the way. But yeah, they support it. I mean, they know I was always the type that for me to believe something, I really had to see it. Like, so if they're like, yo, if Andre's doing this, like, it's got to be real. Like, there's got to be something behind this, So, yeah.
So I just got one last question that I just thought up was, do you ever see a day, do you ever see a time in the future that we may be taught to do this on a bigger, grander scale?
Yeah, I do. That's
Me
what
too.
that's what we're trying to do. Yeah, and naturally, once you open up, even just naturally for a lot of people, I mean, not everybody, but naturally, as soon as you open up to this and you realize that it's real and this is a possibility, they might happen spontaneously for you. If you just go to sleep and you think about it, a lot of times when I leave my body, I don't even have to go through the whole method. I just literally lay there and I think about the feeling and then I just go to sleep. And 5-10 minutes into my sleep, I'm out.
Wow.
So I'm under the belief that like that can happen to everybody, but I just understand that it's also a certain state of being and consciousness that you have to be in prior to that. Like I'm basically in a meditative state like all day long, for periods at a time. And when you're like that, you're just like basically pretty tapped in and connected. So you can just tap in and match that frequency and go to sleep and you'll be out. And I'm out of that state now, as a lot of changes are in my life and stuff. But that's why I'm consciously shutting down my body. I'm back to the basics, trying every day, but yeah.
So what is next for you? What are you doing? Like, are you just going to continue doing this? Are you teaching? Are you trying to teach? Or what's on? I know that you have a website. And can you tell us what you can do on the website or what it's for?
Yeah, so on my website, I do offer one-on-one services if you guys are curious or if this brings your attention or if you're practicing and having trouble or, if you just are curious about the nature of reality or like what I've come and talk to me. I can help you guys along the way, along the process. I also have a member section where, I host, Q&As and just trying to build a safe community for people. And I post, I'm going to be posting some of my experiences there. And, there's a chat for people to talk about these things on there and things like that. Just trying to, build a solid community and yeah.
So can someone get a hold of you via on there, I guess, right? So a chat form or something?
Yeah, I would say, yeah, if somebody wanted to get in touch with me, just go to www.thealchemist369.com. All my links are there. You guys can contact me from there for sure.
That's perfect. So I will have all those things, all his details down into the link. And I want to thank you very, very much for time today. Do you have
no problem. Thank you.
one message for humanity?
One message for humanity.
Yeah, it's a hard one, isn't it? Always gets you.
Well, one message would just be, the simple truth that you are eternal, you exist outside of here, and you are loved deeply. That's it.
That's perfect. Thank you so much for sharing your truth and showing us the possibility beyond the physical. Your journey reminds us that we're more than just these bodies. We're energy, awareness, and infinite potential. For those of you who are watching, until next time, stay open, stay curious, and keep returning to the truth within you.